What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are all having a great day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little dump. You guys know that we were kind of looking for downside. We weren't necessarily, saying that it was going to dump to that specific level, calling it well in advance or anything, but we knew that a potential take profit could be in place, and so we were looking for that move. And now we are at a point where, when we talked about this being the week of interest, that January 4th to January 11th arena of, okay, is this a time when we could be getting a pullback on Bitcoin? We did get one. I mean, this is a pretty healthy pullback. As soon as the market opened, essentially, this thing pulled back 17%. So that's a pretty good move. Now the question becomes, can it hold this level right here? I believe it was this one. We were looking for that 30,436, $30,400, whatever you want to call it, 30,500, give or take. That's the level we want to see back tested and hold on a weekly closing basis. So we have a long week ahead of us. This thing could just have come down here, taken some liquidity, and then we might go to these upper targets. Again, those are right here at 44,132 and 50,351. But we still got to get through 36K if that's the case. And we're going to talk about both bullish and bearish scenarios here. And I'm going to show you guys a little, I don't know, I just had some fun and was looking at potential, chart setups where if this was some form of a topping pattern. And when I say topping pattern, I just mean something that comes down to support in the, mid to upper 20,000s, and then goes right back to the upside. Because I do think everyone's looking for this neckline right here to get retested in this region. And, we may not ever get it. I know that our yearly pivot comes in there. So the annual pivot is in this region. So we're going to take that into consideration. But this may be something that we never actually see. So having a plan for it, though, just in case, doesn't hurt. But we'll trade it either way. But yeah, I just wanted to pull this chart up again. We were looking for this. I think this was the fib time right here, just from macro high to macro high. This is the week of interest with the macro 414 coming in on the 9th of January. So always fun to look at this chart and just see how well it's gotten things for so long. And I think it'll continue to, depending on how high Bitcoin decides to go. I mean, this thing says the top of it's 146 this week, and obviously that number increases in value every week. We'll talk a little bit about Ethereum too today, by the way. So if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Do me a solid, leave me a comment. Try to show you guys stuff that you don't get anywhere else. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Let's get back on our Bybit chart. All right, guys, we are back. So let's take a look at our Bybit chart. We had the dump, went straight to the 786. Ollie in the group had pointed it out before I went to bed. Also, the S1 on the weekly was coming in here. I don't know that any of us were really targeting. We were looking at the pivot first, obviously. Your 382 is there. There was just a lot of confluence here. And I was looking at a potential Gartley there, but obviously my smoke alarms went off tonight and have caused me to have to redo this video. But only because they won't. So, hopefully I get this new video done before the house burns down. They're having a good time with that in the group. Said the video must be fire because I apologize that it's taking longer than it should have. But things that I talked to the guys about in the group today. So we talked a lot about ranges, both ranges that I pull myself, like this, right? This range right here, the one that we just back tested. So this is a range that I'd had on my charts for a while. You guys know I like to leave all my ranges up, like this one, etc. and etc. But you can also take a more calculated approach to it. You don't necessarily have to use and eyeball these ranges. Now, it does help in identifying some things, like this right here would be one that you could eyeball, right? This little guy. If we were to break into it, this is an important range, right? And we'll get to that in a moment. But we're combining that information with, custom pools, but also we're starting to look at opens with people, because I'm big into opens, and we'll start to notice how these opens really line up with really important areas. So this previous day open is now invalid because the previous day open is different. It changed 18 minutes ago. But I was looking for this area if we were to break it yesterday, I guess, going into yesterday's video, this being the previous day open, was looking to challenge the weekly open from there, and I'll show you why. If we look at our volume range, what was holding us back here was the previous week volume area. right here with the point of control coming in at the golden pocket just above the yearly open, which was surprising me that we went so far down. I was really hoping to hold this yearly pivot here, and we did swing fail this low. This is a swing failure of the lows here, right? So Ollie had mentioned the S1. I said I'm only interested in the S1 if there is a swing failure there. It's also the back test of this old range, so that was kind of, there was some confluence for that region. But you guys know that I did say, and I stand corrected in that regard, but I said, you know, hey, if we lose this golden pocket region or this R1 even, I'm looking actually down into this region. Oh, excuse me. This region right here, and the reason was that was our nearest level of daily support right here. So I was looking into the previous week open and the previous week value area low in the bottom side of the range, because I just, you know, I felt like this was where the best support was, and obviously it was just coming down to back test this region and then rock and roll. So is what it is there, but we move on from that and we take the next trade. I was asleep anyway, so I missed all this. I woke up and most of this had already played out. So I've taken a few range trades today, but that's about it. So you can see we're finally getting above not only the previous day open, well, the open that we were watching from a couple days ago, and then we have the value area high of the previous week's range, with the median of it lining up with the yearly open. So people are going to defend that, and then the bottom of it with the previous week open. So opens are starting to line up to make a lot of sense here for us. If we are to change out the previous week area and say, well, I want to know what January is doing. I need to know what January is doing from a volume standpoint. What does my range look like? And it begins to look like this right here, and you can see that now that's lining up really nicely with the weekly open. So our value area high is now lining up with the weekly open, and the point of control also coming in at the 618, really validating that this area here from the yearly open up to the 618 at 29,262, this is a really key area in my opinion, that if for some reason Bitcoin does lose this region again, I am looking past this S1 at that point in the support, and I would be looking down into, at a minimum, the $26,000 region, that 26.2 to 26.5 area, and I would almost be eyeballing into this range here, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So this is super key support to hold again. Also, you can see it's our prior low here. We put in a higher low. Now the question is, can we make a higher high? What kind of formation are we going to get? As you guys are aware, anytime you're trading a trend, what you want to see is you want to see a high, a higher low, which we got here, and then a higher high, and then you put another higher low. But then now you're potentially putting in a lower low and a lower low, and now you've made a lower high and a lower high. Now you've made a lower low. Now the question is, can this come up and make a higher high? And so what kind of a trend are we setting here on the low time frames that does begin to creep into high time frame areas, especially when they're macro areas that we were going to take profits at anyway? So you've got your weekly R1 here with the yearly R2 above. That is our next resistance. There's no secret about it. If we get above this region, I do think that we're going at the least to that $40,000 to $50,000 marker, and that would be supported even on the pivots here at 46,315. Also was supported by the previous chart that we just looked at, that golden pockets coming in that $42,000 to $50,000 range. And we did look at those values. So what I'm looking for now is a challenge into this weekly open at 33,092. If we can regain that, where are we going to go? I do think that if we regain the weekly open at 33,092, we would be challenging the weekly open and then moving up into this region right here, which is your 886. And so there is some fib confluence for both these regions at the weekly open and the POC of this mini range up here. You can see that your 886 is coming in at your point of control, and then your 786 is starting to come in right in here in that weekly open range. And I'm actually going to swap this out for the .75. That's my preferred fib. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll do one of these. I've shown this trick before, but I'll turn them both on, and then I do this with a 236 and a 25. And if, like, let's say this was an area for me to short, I would be shorting into this pocket type thing. So that's not the case here where I'm saying we should short there. I'm just saying that's just one strategy. But having the .75 here as a fib with the weekly open tells me it's a key area. Same with the 886 and this POC. We just have to regain the weekly open first. If we can do that, I do think that this is the region we're going to. If we take out the 886 here, we'll just call it $34,000. I would expect us at the very least to challenge this high here at 34,900. What did we get to? Yeah, 34,861. I would be looking for that region again. If we take it out without swing failing the highs, we're looking up to 36.5. That's the bullish case. Now, bearish case is if we do get into this region and we reject here at the POC or even, the weekly open at 786 to 886, you would be setting yourself up for a 786 retracement on a B leg, and we could be looking at some fun. We could be having some fun with something like this, and that would give you a perfect 786 for your B, looking into the 886 at the point of control of our mini all-time high range right here, and then down for the 1.272 and 1.618 to 2.24 connection and confluence for a potential bullish butterfly. And then that's where this old range comes into play again. You can see that here. And then if we just go ahead and turn on our levels, you can see that we've got plenty of daily support in this region as well. So do I think it has to stop in this range with the yearly pivot so close? No, it doesn't have to, but this is the first obvious area of interest to me just because there is some kind of an accumulation range here with support. Otherwise, if we do lose this region, then yeah, we're probably coming back down here into that December open. And if we take a look at that on a from a volume standpoint and a range standpoint, let's go to the December range here. You can see that the pivot's coming in perfectly at the median of this range. And then the December open pretty much comes in really nicely with that 19,144 for the point of control. So those are, I say, well and far away, but with Bitcoin, who knows, it happens really fast. So we'll see what we get. I'm not trading this C leg to short here, guys, unless I see like a change in behavior on the way up and then it starts rolling over. Sure, I'll gladly take the short. So the question becomes, what should I do now? Well, I think that you're watching this weekly open to see if we can get above it. I think if we get above the weekly open and we get outside of our January high range here, I do think it's going to make an attempt into these highs. And the question is it a sustainable move? Is it something that we can get past $34,000 on? If we get past $34,000 on, I'm willing to give it the extra $1,000 at a minimum here to the highs. If it takes the highs convincingly, I do think that you're just going to get that additional $1,500 on top of that. So you have a potential of at least another $2,500 if it can convincingly take out 34K and avoid a swing failure up here at the weekly R1 and the current all-time high. So that is how I'm looking at the market. That's really me just rambling a lot of this stuff off to you guys. Hopefully you understand what I mean by finding this yearly open so important. Traders really do defend these areas, especially when they've been buying in and buying in and buying in. So going to go ahead and take a look at Ethereum real quick. You guys know that we were bullish on Ethereum. We were looking for 1149. Well, we said 1124 to 1149. It did exceed our target by $13. So took some profits there. I had manually set profit taking there, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily done. I had a comment where a guy said it's going to be $5,000 in the next 4 months, and or no, $10,000 in the next 4 months. I think it was the comment. It doesn't matter. Yeah, 10,000 in the next 4 months, and so. Whether he's right or wrong, I'm not going to speculate. I do think Ethereum is bullish going forward. This is a really nice buy up. We do need to watch out for a potential left shoulder here. If this takes the highs, comes up here and puts in a head, comes back down. So do want to see Ethereum continue its uptrend or just accumulate in this range as we talked about before. I think it would be fine to accumulate inside the golden pocket off this 10-day level, hold that $900 region, and you could be doing all right. So that's really all I've got for Ethereum. Trade the ranges, guys. These ranges, the levels are really, really simple, really, really easy. They're very well respected. The same with XRP here. We talked about XRP flipping the weekly open. What did it do? We flipped the weekly open here, and now we are off and running to the monthly. And we did make a foray into the median and point of control of this channel at this daily level. So we were talking about getting long in this region in the last video, and it did come up here to the daily level. You did get a nice bounce. So if you were to have came off the weekly here and just taken this up to the daily, you made a 17% gain if you were able to lock in some profits. And anytime that you're trading a range, guys, where is the take profit at? The take profit is almost always, oops, I am on way too low of a time frame here. Did I lose my range? Oh, that's the 22 cent range. I'm sorry. Macro lower range is right here. My mistake. Let's go to a daily. I think I got to do that just to get this thing. Yeah. Anytime that you're doing a range trade, um, if you're buying the lows of the range, which are down here, your first take profit is your point of control. And so, had you taken profit at your point of control, you could have locked in a nice 17% gainer, even with a secondary entry off the weekly, which it gave you. And then now you're looking to say, okay, if we can take out this POC, and flip this monthly would probably be the first sign. If I can do that, I can probably make my way up here to the buy monthly at 29 cents. That'd be my next take profit region. And then I would start looking into this box right here where we've been doing so much selling. And I'd say, okay, to me personally, that's a risk off area just because there has been so much sell pressure there. Now, if we get through that area and can do anything convincing, you can talk about either getting into a position or not. But right now, it does look like it's just range bound between this weekly and this daily, and then still working on this monthly, flipping it on a closing basis because you can see that we're not closing any dailies outside of this range. It's all just been range action, buying and selling, which, to be fair, is not a bad range. Even if without these wicks, you guys are working with a 10% range, just buying and selling the range. And so it would have given you opportunity one is, well, technically opportunity one was the monthly down here, but let's say you didn't take it. Let's say you took this one, it'd be opportunity one trade, two trades, three trades, four trades, five trades. You've had 5 trades in this range. That's 50%. If you just bought the weekly, sold the monthly, not even taking it to the daily. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to understand risk management, and then you have to understand that even if you love the coin, if you're in this to become profitable and somewhat, not, I wouldn't say wealthy, but you're in this to become profitable. If you guys are just in this to make money, then that's what you should be doing, is just trading this range accordingly. So that's all I got for you guys. This is 17 minutes long. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully all of this made sense. You guys know what we're looking for now and how I'm trading it. If you guys have any questions, the group is free. Feel free to join, like, and subscribe to the video. It really helps me out. I'm getting super close to 1,000 people. I think I'm at 844 subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. And I will catch you guys in the next video and hopefully see you in the group.